Today I'm gonna show you how to negotiate a better rate with the brokers. Um, Before you even call these people, you have to know what you're getting into. Um, that's like the first thing. If you're well informed, then you're able to negotiate a better rate. Um, these are some of the things that I do, and they're important. Let me move this out the way. Uh, this right here is called the MCI market condition maps. This isn't that power. I don't know if they have it on the Trucker's Edge, but it gives you an idea of loads coming out of each state. And when you look at this, you have to factor in, that most of these are mostly semi trucks. Okay, I don't know the exact numbers, but I'm guessing 50. There's 50 to 100 loads for every box truck load. I mean, that's just the way it is. So when you're looking at this, it's going to give you an idea. So if Wyoming and South Dakota and all these desert states, I call them desert states because it's hard to get loads out of them. If they're blue for semis, just imagine how hard it's going to be uh, getting load from for a box truck. I had one of my subscribers call me yesterday, and he was stuck in Nebraska. His dispatcher sent him there. He told her, he's like, look, don't send me to a state where I can't get a load. And she did. She told him, it was like, yeah, I can get you a load back, and couldn't. Nebraska's one of those dead states. So he had a lot of deadhead. He was trying to get home, and it's like, you know, when you come into these states, you have to get at least $3, $4, and $5. Okay, you just can't come in here for $2 or $2.50 and then go on Facebook, asking for somebody to get you out of these states. You have to know this before you even come in here. Um, I've never made deliveries to any of these states. I've driven through them on my way to California. This is the only time I go west is when I'm coming to California. In California, you can there's a port there, a big port. It's backed up for months. You can get loads coming from California to pretty much anywhere in the United States. So if you decide to come in one of these states, get at least $3, $4, $5, depending on how far you're coming from. But make sure don't take nothing less than $3 because you might have to deadhead to California just to get a good load to get back to wherever you want to go. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty bad, man. Especially, yeah, these are nothing but mountains, deserts. There's nothing coming out of the weather. It's bad. Some of these mountains don't have railings on them. And what you could do if you get into a bad state is take a bad load and play hopscotch. Like what is it, hopscotch, from state to state with bad loads till you get to California. So know where you're going, and so that way you can ask for the right rate. The brokers, they'll dangle $2.50 to go in these places, and people bite all the time. People are desperate. They're thirsty. They'll take it, and then they run to Facebook. Oh, I'm in Idaho or Wyoming or Colorado. You know what I'm saying? And can't get out of there. Okay. California is a great state. There's a hub in Indiana, Texas, and Florida. These are deceiving. These shouldn't be red, but like I said, this is for semis, and you can get semi loads out of here. But for the box truck loads, you got to get $3 coming into Texas because it's going to be hard to find a good load out of there. Some people go in there, wait a day or two just for something to come up, to show up. And usually, a lot of people end up taking bad loads out of here. So get $3 going into Texas. Texas, you can drive for 11-hour shift and still be in Texas. You don't want to get stuck in Texas, especially down here, because you got a long way to get out. It's a lot of deadhead. Florida's the same way, but Florida, you're gonna need at least $3.50 to $4 to get into Florida. Okay, Florida, unless you have a reefer, you're not gonna be able to get good loads out of there. That's only when it's harvest season, back in the spring, late spring or something. You can get whole oranges, but other than that, don't go in here unless you can get money. If you can get $3.50, you can probably come about this far, because you don't want to come all the way south. You come all the way south, you're gonna have to run this state just to get out, and then look over here. You come out of there like, where's the loads at? And you might not find good loads out here, depending on the time. So don't go to Florida. If it's $3.50, you could probably go, maybe like a third of the state. But other than that, don't do it, because there's gonna be a lot of deadhead, man. So once you know what states are where you can get a load from, then you can negotiate. If it's a bad state, you have the negotiating power, and you should use it. Don't sit there and say, yeah, I'm going to take what's on the board, man. If the guy's asking you, hey, come to Wyoming or Washington or Oregon, you have the upper hand because these states are horrible. Horrible. They know it's horrible. They're not going to tell you that. But if you know that already, you can say, look, man, this is in Wyoming, man. You know, you're trying to give me 250. I might have to, deadhead to California. And then you can work your way. You have the upper hand. But don't just take what they give you. I mean, they're there to make money too. So they're just going to throw whatever rate there and hope somebody bites. And usually there's always somebody that'll bite, man. They'll throw the cheese out there. People bite like mice. So know where you can get lows at. Know which states you have the upper hand in. Now, this is a major thing right here. Well, you know what? Let me go to the weather. Always check the weather first. Always check the weather first. You should do this every day. When you log in, check the weather. Okay, this is a map. This is weather.com. If you're taking a long trip across the country, do the 5-day forecast, 7-day forecast, so you know exactly what your driver is going into. Don't listen. And most people don't do this, and they put their drivers in a danger. They book loads without even looking at the weather. That's bad on your part because you're putting your drivers in a danger. Okay, that's the first thing. You should always look at the weather. Now, this green stuff here, this is rain. Okay, so if you have a load going somewhere, you're gonna see there's rain. That's gonna slow your driver down. Okay, it's not as risky as snow, but it still is a slow down. This right here, the red part, thunderstorms. The yellow, the redder it gets, the more severe the storm, and then that's when they put your drivers in danger. So if it's raining, it's gonna slow you down. You have to negotiate that in the rain. This right here, all this blue stuff, this is snow. And if it's out here out west, it's heavy snow. Out here, they shut down highways, and you could be sitting on the side of the highway for 3 days waiting for them to open up. They have little fences. When the snow gets bad, they have little fences like those little bars that they put in the railroad tracks, and they have them all along these interstates out here. And when the snow gets bad, they shut them down. They shut them down, and if you're in a box truck, that means more hotel costs. That means it's going to be a late load. And it's also dangerous because this is all mountains. You're going to have your driver coming up and down these mountains. That's going to be another danger. So when you see snow, you have the upper hand, but you have to let these brokers know because they're not going to tell you. You say, look, man, I have a driver. It's snowing out there. They're closing highways out there. The interstate's closed. I'm going to need more money. You have to bring this to their attention. And when you bring this to their attention, I guarantee you, they're going to be Googling the map and say, hey, yeah, he's right. There's snow. So you have that power. If you don't bring it up, they're not going to say anything. They're just going to give you whatever rate they want to give you. So make sure you bring this up when you talk to them, the snow, because it's definitely a factor. It slows everything down. It's dangerous. And when they close these interstates up here, that's more money on you, more money for food, more money for lodging. And it's dangerous. It's dangerous. You can slip right on the side of these mountains and crash your car, and then you'll be out of business for a while. So make sure when you see snow like this, make sure you put it in the rate. Now, this is one of the most important parts too. This is Google Maps. What I do is I put it on the terrain and I look for mountains. Okay, the Midwest is pretty level. It's not, you can spend, let's say you spend 1,000 in gas out here. It's going to cost you 2,000 out here because when you have to travel these mountains, it's going to waste twice as much gas. It's going to waste twice as much gas. I mean, I remember I was tracking it one time. I was in California, and I think I was spending $50 an hour in diesel going up these mountains, up and down these mountains. So if you go up here, $2 is not okay. Okay, you have to get $3 or $4 coming in here, depending on the state. If you can go to California, you can get away with $2.50 to $3. Well, I would ask for $3, but you can get away with that. But when you get here, you have to take into mind the gas prices out here too. It's expensive. In California, I've seen it as high as $6 a gallon for diesel. Now, the reason it's so high is because when you go up and down these mountains, it's at a slow pace. It takes more torque, and it burns a ton of gas. So it's hard to truck this stuff in. When they truck it in, it's expensive. So they pass the customers to you. So if it's expensive for the truck, imagine you coming in a box truck, using your lower gears and trying to finagle these mountains. It's going to cost you a lot of money. So make sure you get plenty to compensate for the gas that you're going to spend here. You're going to spend at least double here. And don't quote me on this. I don't know the exact numbers, but that's the way I look at it. I spend a lot of money. Over here, you can see this is the Appalachian Mountains. Out here, you can go. I've been as high as about close to 10,000 feet, up in the clouds, man. These mountains are high. The weather's horrible. The wind is horrible. They knock you off the road, and it's just a horrible place. The mountains create their own weather. Here in the Appalachians, it's not as bad. I think the most that I've seen was like 4,000 feet, maybe. Um, and but you still burn a lot of gas. You're not going to burn as much as out west, so you have to account for this. So if you're coming up the East Coast, this runs from the tip of Alabama all the way up the East Coast. Okay, so if you're up here trying to go down south, there's no way to avoid these mountains. So you have to charge, and you can't charge them like you would out here. You have to account for that gas. If not, you're just leaving money on the table, and they'll pay it, but you have to bring it up to their attention. Okay. They're not going to say, yeah, do you want some extra money? You're going to be going up these mountains. You're going to be burning a lot of gas. They're not going to say none of that stuff. You have to bring this up to them and let them know you know what you're talking about, okay? So make sure you get extra money for the gas if you have to ride these mountains. And there's mountains out here. It's no joke. And there's mountains out here too. So work that in the price. So let me see. One more thing I'm going to say is when you go looking for load boards, check their MC numbers. If they're checking your numbers, you should be checking their MC numbers too. You know what I'm saying? They have reviews. This one's been a customer for DAP since 2015. That's a good sign. They have one review. It's a good sign. It's a 5.0, but it's only one review. You know what I'm saying? If they've been a customer since 2015, why do they only have one review? So you have to look at the information, man. Some people, when they leave bad reviews, they'll tell you the truth. This company doesn't pay bad. They're double brokering, or this and that. They'll put it on there. So look them up. Don't just like most people. I don't even click this. I click it every time because I want to see who I'm doing business with. If you scroll down here, you'll see their MC numbers right here. You can click on that. Let me see. So this company has formed, got this MC number. Tomorrow is New Year's 2022. So close to 4 months, almost 4 months ago, they started this business, but they've been a customer since 2015. Now, I don't know what this company does. I have no idea, but this is red flags for me. You know what I'm saying? They have 18 units for a 4-month-old MC. For me, that tells me maybe they changed their names, maybe they changed companies. Always look into these people, or to make sure, look at the reviews to see what you're dealing with. I mean, I'm not trying to say anything about them. I don't know nothing about them. I'm just searching the public information that's there. You know what I'm saying? When they check your MC, check their MC. Check them. They've been a customer since 2015. There's one review, and they've been around for 4 months, but they have 18 trucks. I mean, who buys 18 trucks in the first 4 months? And they've been a customer. So I don't know. For me, I always look for red flags, and it's always a red flag. Like I said, I don't know what they do. I don't know if they're good. They're probably a good company, but that's what I look for, and that's what I look for. Click another one. Let me see. ACE MC number. They check yours, check theirs. Customer since 2015. No reviews. You can see the MC date was formed. Same thing. Oh, this is not the same company. Or it could be. Who knows? Maybe a different company. Same company, different branches, but look for all this information. This is all public information. If they're going to look at your MC, look at theirs. Look at theirs. And look for the reviews. These don't have no reviews. This is a new one, new thing that been they're here since 2021, but their MC is older, so they were probably a driver. It's got one power unit, maybe a driver turned into a broker. That happens. Look for reviews. There's no reviews. Look for reviews and do the same thing, man. Don't just do business with anybody. There's a lot of scammers out there, man. Let me tell you, man. There's plenty of good brokers. Look at this one. This one's decent. They've been around since 2008, and they have decent reviews. Click them, read them. There's a lot of good brokers, but there's also a lot of bad brokers. They're double brokering. There's people that are trying to. They're scammers all the time, man. Especially with the broker. Look them up. Yesterday I was trying to book a load for one of my subscribers, and I called somebody. It was in a bad area, and I called the lady. I think it was like 244 miles on his way home, And I told her, I was like, I'm gonna need $600 for this load, and she said something like 470. And I was like, if you give me $600, I have a driver. He's on the way there now. He'll pick it up, deliver in the morning. You don't have to worry about it. So she says, yeah, let me call the company, which probably meant she was calling her boss, and I'll get back to you. And by the way, it's 2 pickups. For the last minute, it was listed as 1 pickup. There was, I think it was like 10 feet or 12 feet and like 6,500 pounds. And she had it listed in a box truck, under 26 feet. And I was like, whatever. I was like, go ahead, call. So I called the dude, and I'm like, look, she tried to slip a fast one on me, but I'm gonna charge her more. And when she calls me back, when she gets to go. So when they finally called me, some guy called me from Miami, and he's like, yeah, we have 2 cars, a van, and a thing. I'm like, wait a minute, dude. You're looking for, you need a hot shot. You don't need no box truck. I mean, what's going on? It's like, well, you're right, man. And then, just try to give me some bogus excuse. So what he was trying to do was, with the second pickup, he was trying to take 2 loads to get delivered with 1 pay. Double brokers, what they usually do, they'll book a load and then rebook it to somebody else. This guy was actually trying to get 2 loads for the price of 1. So he had me pick up 1 car and then had me drive another way to pick up 2 cars. So that's 2 separate loads. So you have to watch these brokers. You have to do your homework on them, because there's a lot of scamming brokers out there. There's a lot of good ones. And when you get a good one, put them on a spreadsheet. Get their number, get the day you work with them, the email, the address, and call them first before you go into the load boards. Because when you go on these load boards, there's a jungle out there. I mean, you don't know what you're going to get, and you need to do your homework on these people. These people will scam you. They'll have you drive 2,000 miles, say, yeah, we're going to give you $5,000, $10,000, and then they'll never pay you. So you need to do your homework with these people, man. They do it on you, do the same thing on them. So I'm going to cut it short because this is a long-ass video, but if you have any questions, just let me know.